Hello, World Wide Web. I'm Dr. Shado, the internet personality with the best hair. You know, I've seen a lot growing up, going to school, traveling the world, and if there's one thing that I've learned, reality sucks. And no period in time seemed to think that more than the late 90s, as we've got another science fiction flick from that era centered around the idea of virtual realities, the Cyberstalking. Not to be confused with the 1996 flick Cyberstalker, the Cyberstalking is a 1999 made-for-TV film based on the idea of virtual reality being nothing more than the latest pop sensation. Starring Jean Louisa Kelly as Holly Moon, the film shows us that in virtual reality, everybody has ridiculous hairstyles. Oh, and some strange shadow man keeps walking around trying to kill you. It's got an interesting premise, but right now all that means for it is that it's one of those cheap movies thrown onto Echo Bridge DVD packs. Oh well, let's boot it up and see if it's at least playable. We open to a loud, flashy scene as the world prepares to listen to Samantha broadcasting live from Club Cyberphoria in the strange future where women seem to think that Ra's al Ghul grey patches are sexy. Except for Holly Moon here, who wishes to start fashion trends, not follow them.
How do I look?
Well, it's definitely a look.
What does that mean?
Everyone's going to laugh at you if you don't have fake grey hair painted on the sides of your head. You know what, never mind, fuck it, I side with Holly on this one. She does get laughed at immediately on the way to Cyberphoria, but takes this time to muse to the audience that her character aspires to be a great artist. We are also introduced to Jack and Comic Relief, who explain to the audience some more about how tonight is supposed to change the world of Cybercast forever. Whatever that means.
Yeah, what's gonna be so different about it?
I don't know, she can't say. She had to sign a non-disclosure agreement. Apparently Cyberphoria are keeping everything totally hush.
You call this hush?
I'm sure you're very interested to figure out just how everyone at the club can participate in a shared virtual reality experience, and the tech involved, and how it's projected. Well, they don't even try to explain it. Instead, we just are told this forehead thing receives images from a subject's mind, and they somehow are able to project that. And this introduces us to Samantha, who dances the, crotch shot, and sings to the audience with the studio effects straight from her mind.
All my life I've been waiting and watching and waiting for flesh that smells familiar.
That doesn't rhyme. And what's that supposed to mean? Flesh that smells familiar? Bacon? Well, if it's said about bacon, then all is forgiven. But as she performs, the systems begin glitching out and a dark figure appears in the crowd.
What's going on? She looks scared.
His ridiculous outfit is going to upstage her in front of everyone! This glitch is evidently enough to terrify Samantha, though, who freaks out so bad they have to cancel the show in the middle of the song.
50 clubs around the globe saw you flip out tonight.
50? And Cyberphoria itself isn't exactly big. So, considering we never even see any of these other clubs anyway, couldn't they have just upped the numbers a bit?
You don't know what it's like having that thing watching you.
It's not watching you, Sam. It's a completely interactive system.
Then it is watching her! She leaves to cool off, and then we get to see the bouncers guarding the, hole to backstage.
We've come to see Samantha?
No one's allowed backstage tonight.
Excuse me? Do you know who this guy is? This is Jack Paul. Taylor, please. All right.
Yeah, the good cop, bad cop routine usually works best when you actually hold an authoritative position. Naturally, the bouncers don't take kindly to these two, but they have no problem letting the two women rush past them, even though they quite clearly notice them doing so. But it's alright, the plot says she has to get backstage, so let's let her walk past security. Rob is talking about Samantha's failure with his secretary, right when Holly and extra character come in, as those two guys were apparently the only security at this super technological, ultra-famous club.
I'd like to work for you.
And what do you do, Holly Moon?
I sing. I'm very good.
She is. You should hear her stuff.
It's absolutely amazing. Changed my life. Rob is impressed with her immediately, despite not having any reason to be so whatsoever, and arranges to see her the following day for an evaluation.
So, do you have a cover?
Oh, I write my own songs, remember?
And they're very good songs, Holly, but we wouldn't have had time to put them in the playback computer, would we?
I only sing my own songs.
Alright, well, it was awful nice of you to come in. The door's over that way. Only sing some songs. Strangely enough, Rob is fine with just putting on her demo tape, which they have conveniently already stripped the vocals off one track of to meet her demands. So with Samantha, it's no, get back in VR and dance! And with Holly, it's no, let me help you with that. The music kicks in and Holly twitches in place for a while before launching into song.
Marilyn, baby, wants to be a pop star. She's 17 and very unhappy. Frankie, baby,
Wait a minute.
used to be a big fish. He's ethnic boy.
Original song, my ass! This is Holly by Republica! It came out in 1996, 3 years before this movie and whatever the fuck year this movie's supposed to take place in. Rob is thoroughly impressed with Holly's performance of Holly by Holly, but Samantha can see her own career slipping away and is quite upset. Oh please, your career's not over, you just failed a performance. Get drunk, run out in the street and vandalize something and boom, you've got your own reality show. Mike is concerned about their program, though, as they've captured footage from this movie of the mysterious figure that Samantha saw.
Well, what is it?
It's probably something she's generating herself. Something dragged from her subconscious that's being captured by the machine and made real.
How's that possible?
We don't know what is possible.
We're just investing tons of money into this huge worldwide broadcast using his software. Of course we have no idea how it works. He lets the audience know that evidently this is super advanced software, and he doesn't even know how Rob got his hands on it.
See these codes here? 2 days ago, I'd never seen those before. The machine has written those itself. And that just isn't possible.
And despite the fact that I have clearly isolated an anomaly, there's no reason whatsoever to quarantine it. Jack and Comic Relief are hard at work, however, trying to figure out how Cyberphoria got its tech while the world still appears to be trapped in Internet 1.0.
So they didn't write it themselves.
Right.
Where'd they get it?
I have no idea.
Yeah, Comic Relief here also doubles as conspiracy theorist hacker strategist. Which may be the unexplained magic reason why Jack was able to track down Holly at the mall to have a quick chat.
Oh, no, I was trying to see Samantha.
Oh, don't tell me you're a crazed fan.
Holly, you knew if he were, he'd be wearing a dress and have big patches of gray painted on the side of his head.
Do you know what they put her through to get those VR effects? It's not what you think.
Please. You're not going to start talking about brains and tanks, are you?
No.
Fuck! Really wanted to use that clip from The Man with Two Brains. He's not the smoothest talker, and even she figures out him meeting her was no accident and leaves shortly before Comic Relief shows up.
Can you eat that?
Yeah, I'd like to try. So how'd you do, Taylor?
Oh, Taylor! Comic Relief has a name. It's hard to tell. I mean, the IMDb page for this movie doesn't list half of the characters' names.
Can we hack him from the outside?
Firewall, proxy servers, no way.
What?
Firewall, proxy servers, no way.
That night, however, Holly gets her first trip to the back room at Cyberphoria, where Rob helps her get her feet wet in the VR program.
The system, it learns from us. It downloads images from a mind's visual cortex. It takes the dreams, puts them into a library. The more we use it, the better it knows us. The better it serves us.
So, my VR would be full of xenomorphs? And ape sex? She begins to dream, and we get...
Marilyn, baby, wants to be a pop star. She's 17 and very unhappy. Frankie,
You were already playing this song, remember? I mean, it's an alright song, but it's not the best show of your imagination when you do the same thing twice in a row and dress like the pop star you hope to replace.
Oh, you're fantastic.
Rob takes her out of her dream and into his own in short order, but Samantha shows up at the control room and pleads to Mike to hear her out.
Put me into VR. All I want is to show Rob that I'm not afraid of that thing anymore.
Sam, I can't do that.
Oh well, I'm sure she'll understand and leave it to... taking the convenient third chair. For some reason they invested all this money into this super high technology and they got a 3-pack on the chairs and they always have their performers going solo. Samantha enters the VR inhabited by Rob and Holly, but not being on the list, she's outside the grand estate.
This is my dream home. I come here whenever I want, whenever I can.
Is this the best your imagination could come up with? I'd be in a floating castle filled with chocolate and strippers galloping around on Rainbow Dash. But something else wasn't invited to Rob's private paradise party as the fashion disaster closes in on Samantha.
What is that?
I don't know. Must be a glitch in the system or something.
That's a shitty way to go. I mean, I play games all the time, and I've died a lot and crushed, stabbed, shot, vivisected, fucking eaten. And the absolute worst of any of it always is when you're killed by a bug. They come out of VR shortly after this, and Rob sends Holly home while Mike has something important for Rob to see.
Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry, Rob, she's dead!
He can see that. That's no reason to get all worked up. Seriously, there's nothing to even suggest that he moves the body. He honestly does nothing about this. Back with Jack and Taylor, though, the hush-hush situation that Samantha appears to be under has convinced Taylor there's a huge conspiracy, and he believes that Cyberphoria's new software was actually bootlegged experimental training from the military that was cancelled due to it killing everyone who used it.
But I think they would have disabled that combat component. But what really worries me, Jack, is this is fundamentally combat software. And I don't know how you can convert that easily.
And the crazy part? He's absolutely correct about all of that! Who needs leads or clues when you can just pull an answer out of your ass and have it be correct anyway? Damn it, it happened again! But of course when she tells Holly this, she pays him no mind, but at least the ridiculously lax security doesn't mind letting him stick around to watch the show. No, he doesn't do anything else, just watches. Really concerned about his sister. Yeah. Rob's virtual doll gives the announcement, and Holly's performance at Cyberphoria begins. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ, it's the same song again! Is this all it takes to impress them? Just sing this song while dressing ridiculously and dancing in front of a VR background? Shit, I could do that!
Used to be a big fish. He's ethnic boy. And ain't got no money. And Hollywood would be so precious if the beat from beauties weren't so delicious in Hollywood. Who cares anyway? Who really cares anyway? Who cares anyway?
But the devil of black lace is already popping up, which freaks Mike out, but Rob insists the show must go on.
In the Hollywood Bowl of serial killers.
Right, song's over. Finish.
And thus they end the show. After one song. One song? They only had one song for the whole set? What kind of business model? She leaves to go to the after party, leaving Mike and Rob to argue, as Mike tells Rob to cancel the shows, and Rob reminds Mike that he's never given a single fuck in his life.
I have got the whole world watching right now, Mike, and I am not about to throw it out the window because you can't find some software bug. If I go down, you go down.
That threat only works if you have something you can blackmail him with. Mike's probably the most likable guy in the whole movie. The worst thing he's ever done in his life is work with you. Nevertheless, Rob can't get enough of throwing Holly into the spotlight at breakneck speed. After all, we can't afford that these characters actually evolve over time or anything. While Jack actually decides to contact Cyberphoria directly, but they still give him the runaround.
No, I'm filing a major lawsuit against all you people.
I'll pick you up.
Do that by all means.
Do some work together.
Goodbye.
Wait,
considering he's Samantha's brother, she probably was making more than enough money in those 11 months she was working for Cyberphoria that he can afford to go ahead and sue them. But his questions did get to Laura, who begins poking around.
Laura, what are you doing?
What he said about the software, is it true?
Yes, true. So?
So, how come he knows about it and I don't?
Because he worked it out.
In other words, it was obvious, stupid. On top of that, Rob's continuing to ignore Mike's warnings and put Holly into VR, cause him to take action.
Sending email. Sending email.
Huh. Think maybe he sent an email? Nah, that can't be it. And it's sent directly to Jack.
That was my last piece of pizza.
It's just arrived in my email. No sender, no return address.
What is it? I don't know, it looks like a scrambled VR transmission.
Well, that was awful nice of him to send a corrupt file. How the hell did he do that? They can recognize Samantha, but that's about it. So our friendly neighborhood hacker gets to work restoring the video, and after a short break to watch Devin complain that Holly's success will ruin their friendship, even though Holly is just as friendly as she ever was, we come back to find the video has been restored.
Oh my god.
Right, so the obvious thing to do at this point is to upload that video to the web so that everyone will see it, and the police response on Cyber4 will be so harsh they're bound to...
We're gonna kill him. I don't care how many security guards
You're
he
talking
has.
crazy.
Or you could just run out into the street and go vigilante. But Taylor calms him down and offers an alternative plan.
This is all we need. Let's take this to the police, man.
And it's very important we keep this safe. We don't want any kind of dust or fingerprints on... Oh, jeez, look what I just did. Oh, and no, they don't go to the police. That would be totally stupid. The movie needs a climax, duh. They try their usual strategy of walking right up to security and obviously not getting anywhere. Fortunately, though, Jack spots Holly, who is much easier to rush up to.
Everything I told you is right! My sister died in there! Samantha died in there!
Of course, just like any group of fangirls who have just heard their idol has died horribly, they pay him absolutely no mind. Wait, let's be honest, Samantha was dead as soon as Holly took the stage. So the two of them slightly modify their plan, instead going around back where there's abso-fucking-lutely no security whatsoever on the biggest goddamn night in the history of Cyberphoria. VR without any discernible technology? Fine. Audience participation? I'll accept that! No fucking security? My suspension of disbelief has shattered! They run around the back, completely alone, looking for the digital back door to the VR control room, which naturally would be left completely unguarded and unlocked, while Holly prepares to perform a cybercast across the world.
Got it.
Okay. Overriding sequence started. Password is 7 digits. We'll just run through all the possibilities sequentially.
A million possibilities. That's gonna take
90 seconds max.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite line in the whole movie. The performance begins, and from the looks of Holly, it appears the more times you perform, the, hornier you get. I like this song, honestly, but shit! She's gone from starving artist to world sensation, and she's never sang anything else! What, was the movie's budget for cover songs just blown after 2? She wows the audience, and I have to admit, this is a visually impressive final performance, but of course Darth Stocking appears halfway in, and our clumsy duo isn't quite prepared yet.
Back. It's taking so long. I'm jerry-rigging a communications link onto an operating platform sitting on top of an illegal top-secret program. You want to try?
Just hurry, okay?
And even better, their hack has blocked out the main control room, so despite the fact that Rob actually is trying to pull Holly out and save her life, he can't. Our heroes, ladies and gentlemen. Taylor does load the disc in time, however.
Where's the disc? Why can't I see it?
It's feeding directly to her. She can see it.
Holly, this is how Sam died.
She's seen it.
Oh, sorry, wrong disc. That was my collection of tentacle porn. Don't worry, I'll get it right this time. For some reason, this revelation grants her the power to push the figure away, but she hasn't won yet.
You gotta fight this yourself. How? You gotta concentrate on what's real.
Good. For a second I thought they were going to pull the power of love bullshit. I'm not sure exactly what she does, but spare character appears in the VR in a role as dynamic as a street sign, and we finally see who is beneath the black lace.
How can that be me?
Well, I mean, they didn't exactly throw any red herrings our way. You were the only option. She Hadoukens the Shade out of non-existence and awakens from VR, bringing our tale to a close as the police take it from here.
How can you charge somebody with a murder that was committed by somebody's imagination, Detective?
We found a body, Mr. Parker.
Wait just a fucking minute. Murder? He was negligent as hell, but no, he didn't murder anyone. He had no idea the killer glitch was a bit of his subconscious, and I honestly find it hard to swallow myself, but furthermore, Samantha put herself into VR against Mike's wishes and without Rob's knowledge. They should charge him with illegal possession of hijacked military software, but they don't. Murder. Yeah. Oh, and of course, Jack and Holly get together at the end, because every movie has to be a love story.
Maybe sometime when you're able to forgive yourself, we can be friends.
Friends? Friends? He went through all that shit, his sister got killed, and he saved her life, and ends up in the friend zone. Great. Well, that was the Cyberstalking, and it's pretty entertaining for how haphazard it is. The premise is actually pretty interesting, despite the complete lack of sense behind how the technology supposedly works, and it does draw some similarity from the classic Phantom of the Opera, but the plots are very different at their heart. The acting and effects are good for a made-for-TV movie, and the different locations help keep the visuals fresh throughout, but I do think that there were several characters that were unnecessary. Holly's friend has no real depth outside of being Holly's friend, and the conflict introduced of there being a rift between them doesn't add much to the movie. Similarly, I feel like Jack and Taylor could have been done as one character with a lot more depth, but if they didn't talk to each other, it's hard to pull off the tell-don't-show style of their scenes. And while the ending has some serious problems with pacing, logical decisions, and an outcome that makes any sense outside of the need for a pleasant conclusion, I must admit that I thoroughly enjoyed this movie despite the fact that its soundtrack was stuck on repeat. So the Cyberstalking pulls off an acceptable performance at 3 horny hairstyles out of 5. It's the kind of movie where, you know it's not fantastic, but I feel if it had been given a theatrical release with a little better direction, it really could have been amazing. Oh well. Thank you all for watching. I've been Decker Shado, and remember, if you want to make it big, you only have to be good at one thing. Just remember to always wear more and more ridiculous outfits every time you do it.
Which way?
That way.
You're guessing.
You're right.